We always go like a minute for the noise.
Wait, does yours?
I can't keep track of time.
I don't know, because it is weird, right? Remember that one episode where we went? I was like, oh, I think we're at like 45 minutes, and you're like, dude, it's been like an hour and a
It was
half.
like,
I was like, what the fuck?
yeah,
Like
it was like episode 1.
something
It was
like
it
that.
episode 1? It
I
was just like,
some
yeah.
around that time period, I was like, dude, like what the fuck happened? And then we just kept going because you were like, okay, well, like I guess it's fine.
Because it was like, if we put 20 more minutes on this thing, we'll be either at an episode or past an episode, but either way,
At least we got
it's
that
like the best bet or
that like
whatever.
minimum threshold has
Yeah.
been passed, so I guess that's better. But still, that was
We
a
could have just
fucking
stopped at 40. We could have stopped at 45. I don't know why we didn't stop at 45.
yeah.
I don't know why we kept going.
I don't know, man. I get okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll keep an eye. I think it's a lot easier now because like I'll start the screen recording right when we like start. So then if I'm like okay, like what time are we at? I'll just tap the little thing and it'll be like, okay, we're at like around a minute. So it helps. Because I definitely don't look at the time when we start. Like it's 1:22 for the record. But
is it? No, I'm just kidding.
you're like, dude.
Wait, for me it says 1:21.
You're like, dude, it's 4 o'clock.
What if you found out that like we have like a 30-second delay?
Dude,
and like this whole time you're just anticipating what I'm gonna say. And like if we actually like recorded it regular, it'd be like, what do you think about that game?
And I'm like, what? Like, dude, it hasn't ended yet. Like, it's still going. We have hope.
Oh wait, no. Or it's like I'm gonna put the 30. I'm gonna do both sides. Be like, what do you think about the fuck? What do you think about the game?
Like, oh, dude.
Oh, dude, the game is so cool.
Oh, man.
I'm just like answering normally.
Usually, I can hear the only time I can hear the delay, and I haven't told you this, but like it's when we start because we like sync up our recording at the beginning, right? The only time I can hear the delay is when you click your mouse. And then I'm like, oh, like
the mouse,
yeah. Then I can actually hear it, and I'm like, shit.
I'm gonna have you do it one week where like so you can see that I'm not like bullshitting and I'm not tripping. I mean, I am tripping and I am bullshitting, but
but not in that regard.
Hey guys, welcome back. But not welcome back to we have a this is our podcast. Welcome back.
Welcome back to the Fightful Podcast, the only podcast with hosts that watch Orange is the New Black for the plot.
I've actually never seen it, so
yeah, me neither. I just thought of that in the restroom the other day, and I was like, I think that'd be funny.
Oh, the only people that watched what was the Swan movie? Black Swan? Is that what it's called?
With Natalie Portman?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
The only people that watched.
Was it Black Swan? Didn't it win like a bunch of Oscars?
Swan. I thought it was Black Swan.
Let me see.
Oh, well, yeah.
Black Swan.
Swan?
Swan.
Yeah, 2020 film, 2010, Black Swan. The only people that watch Black Swan for the plot. The only people that watch Megan's Body for the plot is... Oh, wait, no, Jessica's Body.
Jessica's Body? That sounds weird, dude.
Yeah. I actually saw that the other day because Dylan is in Trouble did it on one of his videos. And I always, like, heard about the movie, but I didn't know what it was about. I just knew that she was, like, a killer, but I didn't know why. And then I watched him watch it because I'm not going to watch it myself. It's kind of stupid. And
that's a little gay, dude. Weird. Okay, yeah.
Weird as shit. Dude, I'm watching a guy watch a movie about a girl.
What are you doing? Jerking off, dude? What the fuck?
Yes.
What? No, I think it's fine.
That was standard.
Hey, man.
He has a nice voice. I'm just kidding.
I think, Wait, actually, I will say, though, I'm surprised that Black Swan is, like, sexy. Like, I didn't know that was... because the only time I heard about this movie
It's
was when I was like 10, so I didn't know.
it's like it's a lesbian story, but it's not really. I think,
Really?
or that's what everybody was like tripping about. It was Natalie Portman kissed a girl, and everybody was like, "Oh!"
Huh.
All the
Well, I didn't
all of
know
our viewers were like, all the
that.
incels, all our viewers were like,
Um,
"Remember that? Remember that callback?"
yeah.
Okay,
Oh, nice.
I have some news that I didn't know existed. This is our new segment called "News I Didn't Know Existed." Um,
I think,
so I
wait,
wanted
slight
to.
precursor. For you listening, we
Okay.
talked about this in bonus episode 4. So if you didn't listen to it, this is like, if you listen to that, it'll give you a little context.
Oh, I guess I should start with the retraction instead of news I didn't know existed. So I'll talk about that instead for
Okay.
right now. Hold
Mhm.
on. Sorry, I have to adjust my mic. Okay. So if you remember bonus episode 4 viewer that listened because you're a loyal viewer and you listen to all of our stuff, there was allegations in the Smash community of sexual assault, rape. Uh, I think one person beat his wife or like girlfriend or something like. Oh, actually,
Oh,
no. That
God.
I think that was a Twitch. I don't know something. I think that's unrelated. And pedophilia. Most of it was pedophilia, or a lot of it was pedophilia. There was like 3 or 4 or 5 accounts, but a lot of it was like just linked to like some one guy like had relations with both like underage girls and like of age girls, but both of them were kind of like it was like he was in a position of power, so it was more like they didn't want to, but they kind of thought they had to. It was really nasty.
Hmm.
Sorry, hold on, I'm gonna adjust my mic again. Sorry, I'm trying to get it in a good place. I said here's where the retraction comes from. I'm not gonna recount that, but I said I think I said positive things about Gonzalo Barrios, whose name is whose like player name is Zero. Um, I think I was like, oh yeah, he won 50 tournaments. He's a great player. He's a really good guy. Blah 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 blah. He was really good at the game. Not a great guy. Turns out he is also in the vein of the pedophilia. Um, I have a thing. Also, I found the video and I found the timestamp for the video
Oh, really?
that I was trying to find. Yeah, so I actually, well, I knew where the video was. I just didn't know the timestamp. It's around like 18, 17 minutes.
Okay.
But I'll play. I can play it and then we can put it in the description if you want to watch the full video.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna try to give a quick recount about everything. It's a lot. There's a lot of shit that happened. But I'll try to give a quick recount. So there are 3 girls involved, I believe. Oh, my voice. I keep still going through puberty, guys. Sorry. Um,
How old are you? 30? Okay.
I'm not 30. Not 30. I'm very far away from 30 still, which is wild because I feel like I'm older. Um, okay, yeah. So there are 3 girls. One of them is Jisoo or Jis. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't think it's Japanese. I'm pretty sure it's just Jisoo. Jisu. So I think it's Jisoo. Um,
Okay.
there is this girl named Katie, and I thought there was another girl. Oh, there is another girl. Who's the other girl's name? I think she's okay, yeah, yeah. It's we'll call this girl M because they called her M, and she wanted to remain anonymous, but Zero outed her name.
That's kind
In
of shitty.
his confession.
That's really.
Yeah, you say, yeah. So I'll keep them anonymous. We'll say M because they say they called the on the doc. There's a doc that is how many pages? 50. Hold on. 53 pages. This is a 53-page doc that I'm referencing right now. So
And was
there's a
this
lot of
written
shit in
by
here.
the victims or?
It was written by one of the victims on behalf of the others. What happened was this girl I think Jisoo came out and she wanted to not necessarily talk about Zero because the allegations for Zero against her are as bad as what actually like what happened to her otherwise. She was staying at this dude called there's a guy called Sky. There's this thing called Sky House for Smash. It's like Hype House, but they don't produce any content. They're just all like smashers. They're all this is like also like 5 years ago when the scene wasn't as like big.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there were I think what like 22 people living there.
And they all
Like
just they
22
were
Smash
members of the
players.
Smash community. Okay.
Yeah, and they're like I think they're all most of them are all players. Some of them might not have been, but I don't know. Um, so they all lived together. They would practice together. They would go to tournaments and stuff like that. Um, and while she was there, I didn't get to read her whole story. I was reading through it. It's actually like she posted like a it says hashtag Me Too public version, but it's like she's filing like a lawsuit against somebody, the person that assaulted her, or they're trying to get him in jail or something like that. So I was reading through the like legal stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't gotten to the part where like what happened to her specifically. But I want to talk about Zero because I don't know Sky. Sky is like the guy who ran the house, and he's kind of like an underground figure. Like he's important to everybody, a lot of people in the Smash community, but he's not like a player or a commentator or anything like that. So I don't know who he is. So I'm not gonna talk about that. But if we could leave the link if you want to see what like happened, because it's actually pretty bad. Uh, okay, where am I at? So yeah, there's three. So what happened to Jisoo was that he would show her like porn and hentai without her consent. There was like this like big old screen, and he used it as like his like station, his monitor kind of thing or whatever because he didn't really have a desk. Um, and so like the screen was like here, and she would like be working here. And so he would be watching the screen here, and then he'd be like, hey Jackie look, and then she'd like turn around and like look at what he's doing, and it's just like hentai and stuff like that. And she said several times for him to stop, and he never did.
That's
um
fucking weird.
so that was her allegations. Yeah, that was her allegations against him. um she had worse shit happen to her, like, but I'm not going to talk about that because you can read it if you want to know what happened. um but as far as like uh what happened with like the other girls, there's a 14-year-old girl named, I think her name is Katie. Or I think it's there's I'm kind of getting them all confused, and I don't mean to. It's just there's a lot of information that is kind of all mudding together. But Katie is like she was 14 at the time, and she got in contact with Zero, um, who was super friendly to her and stuff like that, and she idolized him because he's again like an incredibly good player, like Smash Legend and stuff like that. Uh, and so like what's it called? Um, she at first what happened was like they came out against stuff against Zero, and then Zero said, here's a whole like here's the receipts for every conversation that I had with this 14-year-old girl. And then at the end of it he was like, I don't know what she's talking about. So it was like a bunch of like posts, a bunch of like screenshots of kind of unrelated stuff, and he was painting the thing of like, oh, we're really good friends. I don't know why she's coming out saying that I hurt her. I don't know what she's talking about. I didn't do anything to her. We were friends. I thought we were on good terms, and now she's just saying like, "Oh, you hurt me, or you assaulted me, like did whatever." And he was like, "I don't understand." Um, it, so from his point of view, what he framed it as was that he was talking to her. He didn't know her age, and then she said, "Oh, I'm 14." And then he was like, "Oh my god, I'm such a super awkward guy. I didn't know how to end the conversation." But after she told me she was 14, I was really uncomfortable talking to her, and then I tried to let her down gently, but I'm so awkward that I don't know if I did that correctly and stuff like that. Trying to make people sympathize with them. and then uh oh, I don't. So I gotta backtrack a little bit. So Jisoo went to Leffen to kind of Leffen is I think I talked about this already um in the bonus episode. For those of you who don't know, he is like a huge figurehead in Smash Melee. But he also tried to get into Ultimate to kind of bridge the gap between Ultimate and Melee, because they're kind of rivals a little bit. Like Melee was the first competitive Smash game. I guess like 64 didn't really take off, um, but like Melee really took off in a competitive sense, and they still play it today, and it's really really big. And then now, and then with each new Smash game, there's a new scene. So there was a brawl scene, there was a 60 Smash 4, which is like the Wii U version, and now there's Ultimate. And so like people are trying to say like Ultimate's the best, and then some people are trying to say, and then the Melee people are trying to say Melee's the best, and there's a lot of tension. So he kind of like acted as like a liaison for a little bit, and he was like really involved with Ultimate, but also like still competing for Melee. So he's like a really big figurehead, a very big, like very good mentor. So she went to him to kind of like say like, I don't know what to do, I don't know who to contact, I don't know how to get this solved, so like what should I do? And then they worked it out, and then Katie found out after she posted like what happened about like the Sky House stuff. And Katie was like, hey, I had some stuff going on with Zero, can you help me? And then she was like, yeah, sure. So then her, Katie, and Leffen all like did it, and then M later on found out what was going on, and that's a whole other thing. Once I get into that's really the stuff with M is really shitty. Like the stuff with Katie and all the other people are shitty, but like it gets even worse because it like Zero is this figure that you thought was like pure and stuff, and then with Katie you find out he's not pure, but then with M you found out that he's just like a scum who just lies and cheats and steals,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
gotta
like
say
really
real
bad.
quick, he looks like a fucking. You look at him and
Dude,
he looks like a mix between like a 10-year-old and like a 45-year-old man in one like body. Like I just looking
yeah,
at him, I don't like him.
everybody go type Gonzalo Barrios or type in Zero Wandering, Zero like wondering into like oh I wonder into Google. And if you do Zero Wondering, do all one word, and you'll see the Zero that I'm talking about. And just look at him, and whatever stereotype you think of when you look at him apparently applies to him, which is really sad because he was one of those guys that like he looked like he'd be like a neckbeard kind of
Yeah, no,
like inappropriate like sex offender pedophile whatever, but he wasn't for a time, and everybody was like, oh, he's a great guy, and then now he is
now
that
he
shit,
is.
and
Yeah,
it's like what the fuck,
bro, he
like you
looks
can't
like
do that.
the human personification of like a pube.
Oh my god,
Oh man, this
bro
guy.
session, bro session.
Damn.
Yo,
Yeah. No.
he looks like ugly. Oh,
Oh, fucking owned.
fucking
Eat a
oh,
dick.
um, eat a dick.
Oh
Well, he
man.
did, and that's a problem. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't. He
Oh
didn't. It
god.
was him.
God.
No, yeah,
Jesus.
he didn't
Yeah,
do
he looks like the
that.
guy from All Star, but like a fucking or Smash Mouth, I guess. But like, I don't know. That's just terrible. Yeah, but yeah, go ahead.
um, yeah. Okay, so that's what happened. So that's how this started, and that's why Jisoo is the one like kind of talking about this because though the other girls were like kind of they wanted the story to be told, but they didn't necessarily want to tell it. But they also did tell that like Katie came out and told it. M wanted to be anonymous completely, so Jisoo's like acting on her behalf because she didn't want people to find out who she is,
Mm-hmm.
which people have because of Zero. But like, there's no. It's like you're still trying to mitigate the damage that's
Yeah,
already been
yeah, yeah.
done,
Like it is pretty fucked up
which
that
is
he
shitty
would
because it's the
say
whole.
like if someone wants to stay anonymous and you've already done so much shit to them, like you should fucking like come on, man.
Yeah. And I was gonna say at first that like, oh, maybe he didn't mean to, but I now knowing what I know about him, I think he absolutely did mean to do that, and I think he's trying to get like people to attack them. Um so okay, so so from his what he painted in his perspective, during the first like they accused him, and then he came out and he was like, this isn't true. In the first time there's three times. He denied it twice and then he confessed. And then the confession was also a lie.
What
So
the
there's
fuck?
like
Are you
it's kind of like
serious?
it's like it's like two lies and a truth, but then the truth is like a half truth. So and that's why the situation's so bad.
Damn, he's
Is
changing the
because like, and
game, huh?
that's why I really want to retract what I said about him because he's not a good person. Um,
God damn it.
and he's not trying to be. Like they wanted an apology, and then he probably would still be kicked out of the community. He probably still like stuff would happen. People would still cancel him probably, but at least like he would save his like he could eventually maybe come back. If he would just apologize, work on becoming a better person, like get help, go to therapy, shit like that. People would have probably forgave him, but he's trying to cover his tracks, and then apologizes, but then he's trying to cover his tracks. And then even after the apology, he's still trying to cover his tracks. Like he's just trying to save face, and that's all he's trying to do. And it's like it's so fucking scummy. Um, well, I'll keep going. So from Katie's account, so when they came back and they were like, actually, no, you're lying. He said that she said later on that she was 14. Uh, she said from the beginning that she was 14, actually. Like what actually happened was that he was like, I don't know much about you, tell me about yourself. And she's like, well, I'm 14. Like immediately the first thing she tells herself about him
Hmm.
is that she's 14. So he knew her age the entire time.
Hmm.
um what he did was call her pet names like Kitty and like I don't remember all the names.
I don't know if I want
um
to hear them. That's fucking. It's like. It's
it's just
so
like,
creepy. It's
oh,
so
kitten, kitty, stuff like that, like weird ass pet names. And we can like, I'm not gonna say all the shit that you said. Like, I think it's if you want to read it, you can. We can put the doc thing.
like the. I'm
Because
looking at it right
I have all
now.
the links on me.
I want to
Yeah,
interject really quickly. Like
actually,
some of his defenses are like I'm seeing a lot of I have no recollection of this. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's your
yeah,
defense?
that was the first one. Yeah, that was such a big problem. That's what. Okay, so like Leffen was trying to be like very diplomatic about it, and he was like, at the end of the day, I just want everybody to be honest and stuff like that. So with the stuff with Jisoo, he said I don't show people porn in public. I don't watch hentai on the big screen. I wouldn't think about doing that. He's like, I do watch hentai, but I wouldn't think about like doing that around my roommates. I wouldn't think about, doing that in front of my roommates. Like that's not something that I would do. And then Leffen was like, actually, when I went to Sky House, like the one time I went to Sky House, you were exchanging hentai with Japanese players that you didn't know. So like the Japanese players came down, stayed at Sky House for a little bit for a tournament. Leffen was there because of the tournament, kind of staying there because he's not actually from the U.S. He's like a European player. Um, I don't remember what country. It's like a German kind of country, but I don't think it's Germany. I don't actually
He's
remember.
Swedish.
Oh wait, no, wait, hold
You're
on.
talking about Leffen?
Swedish, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah, yeah,
roast
yeah.
him, but then
He's
I
Swedish.
realized he's
I was
not a bad person, so I was like, okay, you know what? I'll hold back.
No, he's great. He's actually a fucking. He's one of the best people in the community right now. He's a really good guy too. Like
Well,
it's
now
so
I'm
crazy. I
scared.
talked about it in the bonus.
Yeah.
I talked about it in the bonus episode. But I swear to God, if I had to retract stuff about Leffen, I'd be very upset. But I don't think I will have to because it doesn't make sense
That's
for
like
him to
there's
do shit
always
like that.
like just like real quick, like for me there's always like that like if this particular person was like ended up being accused of, certain like, like sexual misconduct or just any other like allegations of that nature, like for me, like if it happens to like certain people, then I'm like, all right, there's no hope. And for me, my person, is Ben Stiller. If Ben Stiller ended up being accused of something like that, then I'd be like, all right, that's it. There's no hope. Because Ben Stiller, in my opinion, just seems like such a great guy. So Ben Stiller, if you're listening to this, you better not have fucking
The
done
Night at the
anything, or I'm gonna
Museum?
beat the shit out of you.
You talking Night at the Museum guy?
Yeah,
The guy that stole all the stuff in the museum?
yeah, but like,
Just kidding.
that's fine. Like, I can forgive that.
That's a movie.
But yeah, like that's like, so it's like that. That's the way I see it.
Not to diss Ben Stiller, but that's fucking random. That's so random. To
No,
me, at least.
like,
That Ben Stiller's like a
he
can
just
do no
seems like
wrong
such a
guy.
nice guy, right? Like, I don't know. He just seems like such a
Yeah,
nice guy. So if he ended up
I guess
doing
I never
anything,
really thought about it.
he's just, man, I don't even know. Damn, that'd suck.
I would fucking too.
Yeah, I was just,
Yeah.
fuck. But anyways,
So I guess for me,
digress.
Leffen is the kind of guy, but mostly because he's like on the forefront trying to help people out. So if Leffen, if you're listening to this, and I have to retract shit about you, fuck you, man. But also, I love you.
Unless,
um,
unless,
unless of course you're a pedophile,
yeah,
in which case
we're
you're
gonna beat
fucked.
the shit out of you.
And not necessarily because, I mean, because you're a pedophile, but also because you lied to us about
No,
yeah,
about being good.
whatever.
I think. Wait, do you think like
Yeah.
the two of us in a fight could like beat up? Well, okay, well,
Yeah.
like zero.
Yeah.
Like if
I mean,
you
he's
and I, like, do you think
zero?
yeah, do you think we could?
We don't even have to try.
Oh, sick. Okay, well that feels good to know. Yeah.
That man is. You think that man has combat experience? I guess you've never seen them interact. Like,
Yeah,
if you
no.
watch some of these people interact, they're very awkward. Zero's a very awkward guy. I don't feel like he's very coordinated. I'm not trying to like, well, fuck that guy. Whatever.
Yeah, no, fuck that guy.
I'm gonna talk shit about him. I was gonna be like, I'm not trying to talk shit about him, but that's the whole point of this
That's the whole
podcast
point of this. Yeah.
to now. Is just talking shit. All right, I'll keep going.
Mhm.
So Leffen, he came out with a thing. He was like, hey, I'm not gonna comment on the other stuff. I'm just gonna comment on what I've seen, and what I've seen is it's like there's these Japanese players that, sorry, you never met before, and you were sharing hentai with them, and it was, I could see it, like I could see what you guys are doing. So like, don't say that you don't have, like, not that it's proving that you did that to her, but it's proving that you would have the capacity to do it.
Mhm.
Like, don't say that you don't have the capacity to do it when you do.
Mhm.
And then he was like, at the end of the day, I just want us all to, like, I want us to remain friends, because like he wants to help them. He wants them to get help and stuff like that. He was like, I want you to get help. I want us all to kind of remain friends so that we can help you get the help you need. And he's like, I just want us to be honest and not to lie.
Mhm.
And then after that, Zero continued to lie and lie and lie and lie to the
God
point where
damn it.
Leffen was just like, you know what, go fuck yourself. You know,
Good.
like, go fuck yourself.
Good.
I don't give a fuck anymore. Zero tried to this is way later in the story, but Zero tried to contact him directly. Zero was like, I'm gonna go off all social media, and I'm going to exile myself.
Like
So I don't
self-imposed,
deserve
like
to
nothing.
be here.
Okay.
Yeah.
kinda
Which
weird.
at first you think, oh, that's so noble. But it's really just like a power move. Like, if he makes himself, he's just trying to make himself look like a victim. Like, that's all he was trying to do. Was like, I'm the victim here. I am a victim. I don't deserve you guys' support. I don't deserve anything. I'm just gonna go off. I'm gonna go off on my own and just go away.
Good.
An hour later, he
Bitch.
texted Leffen. He was like, "Hey, bro, can we talk?" It's like, fuck off. So
Man.
Leffen was like, "You know what? No. If you have anything to say, say it publicly. Otherwise, I don't want to hear it." And then he blocked him. He's like,
Damn.
I'm blocking you now, and then he blocked him. So
Not today.
So that, yeah. So, jeez, this is so like annoying. The whole process is so annoying. So, so he knew her age from the beginning. He would call her pet names. He was flirting with her heavily. Saying like shit. He would say quotes from Percy Jackson. He would say like, "As long as you're all mine, as long as you're with me."
Damn,
blah
he's
blah
spitting
blah. All that
fucking
weird stuff.
game.
Actually grooming her.
That's fucking weird.
Game, dude. Spitting major game, bro.
That's the weird thing to me, and I like that's definitely not game. It's not okay, but like
No, it's not. Yeah.
it's just so like I will never understand this, but it's like it's bizarre to me to think that because this person is just so like not good at interacting with people of the opposite sex, like they have to resort
Yeah.
to like having those types of interactions with people who don't know any better. That are like, you know,
Yeah,
it's just so gross to me. Like, come, like really, I don't know.
that
It's
was like the biggest like takeaway from this whole thing was like um him and like all the other people, they are preying on these kids because they're vulnerable, like because they will say yes, you know, like these guys are like really like they're sex crazed people, they need help, you know, they probably have sex addictions, they need to like get help for that shit. Instead of doing that, they're like trying to get it anywhere they can. And you'll see later that he tried to do it with somebody who was older, didn't really work out. So then he um, went to this 14-year-old girl and stuff like that.
yeah, like
So to finish it off, he um, he asked her to masturbate using ice and then show him pictures, which is highly illegal. First of all, eliciting sex from like sexual acts from a child is illegal. Sexting a minor is illegal, and that's child pornography. Distribution, um,
creation of, I
or he's in
guess.
possession of in possession of child. Also eliciting child pornography. Also,
Yeah,
that's
what the
another
fuck?
charge. Like possession of it and eliciting that act. Um, and his whole thing was like, "Oh, I didn't know she was 14."
Even though that was the first
He
fucking
knew she was
thing.
14 the
Yeah.
entire fucking time and asked for those pictures. She didn't send them. She didn't do it. She didn't do it and she didn't send them, but
Oh,
she
thank God.
lied and said she did. And then she was like, I just don't want to send the pictures. And he would ask this from her for a lot, and then asked her to do. They wanted to have like a day where she would do everything he said for the day, which is fucked.
That's like,
And that
how do you how okay, like from his perspective, how does he think that that would like not like stir any
I don't think
problems?
he
You know,
does.
like how do you think that's a good idea? How do you think that's okay? It's just mind-boggling.
Yeah, I do.
I don't even.
Yeah,
I'm just at a loss for
yeah.
words.
I don't think he does.
Like he just lacks that much awareness to the point that he doesn't
Um,
realize that it's an issue.
uh, yeah, I just don't think he cares. I don't think he thinks that far ahead. I think he just does it, and then like, cause I don't think he thinks it's bad. I don't think he thinks anything of it or whatever. I think at one point, I think he said you'd be legal in Chile, which is where he's from, Chile. Um, so I don't know. Maybe like in his mind, that's like not a bad thing. I don't know. But that's what he did with that girl, and then he was lying about it, and then and so they were so on the second count, on the second time he apologized, she didn't say the ice thing. She didn't talk about the ice thing. She just said the other shit and like kind of like trying to show where the gaps were in his things. Um, maybe I can pull up his second apology. Uh,
There we go.
um, 'Cause, I don't remember exactly what he says was wrong. Um. Okay. Yeah. Hold on. Let me see. Uh. Oh yeah. So he was like, "Hey, don't come. I'm telling you, everybody, don't come after her. Don't come after her. Don't come after this port." But like when you say it that many times, it's kind of like maybe he's trying to get them to say it.
Yeah, that's
Maybe he's
like
trying to get them to send death threats.
something's wrong with that. Hmm.
Oh, so Jisoo said that he started dating his current girlfriend when she was 15 and he was 20.
What the fuck?
Um and then he's using his girlfriend as an alibi, like they're colluding together. And so he said that's false. She was born in 1997, I'm 1995. The age difference is 2 years, not 5. It's also important to state that we didn't have sexual interactions until after she was 18, and we were more serious about the relationship. I don't know about that. I was trying to find more information on that, but I didn't find any. So who knows if that's true? Probably not, though, considering that he's lying. Um, so the second time he makes like they're all like on this thing like called twitlongers or whatever the fuck. So the first one he did was like a twitlonger, which is where like you post like a long thing. Like it's a link you can post on your Twitter that like
Because there's
it's
like
a
a
longer.
there's like a character limit on Twitter, right? So if you want to say something longer, you just
Yeah,
use it.
yeah, and then I think it also lasts for. It doesn't like get washed out with other stuff, so you can find it really easy as long as you have the link or whatever. So they post a link. So they've been doing a lot of it through Twitlonger. So the first one was on Twitlonger. This is a doc. This one's just a fucking like doc of all the things. So he was trying to show more proof, like, oh yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. We seem really friendly. To make it clear, the photo she sent was a picture of herself. My comments are horrendous here, and I regret them so much. Prior to this, I did not know she was underage. This is where he was lying about knowing that she was underage. So I guess this one was where he addressed Katie's initial, like, oh, you're lying. Like, here's the claims against me. They're wrong or whatever. Um, so I think the first one he was talking about, like, I don't know about Jisoo's stuff. Um, and then he kind of goes onto like this apology thread, um, where he's like, I'm so sorry for anything that I did, without really saying what he did. He's just like, sorry for anything that I could have done. Sorry for whatever, but it's not really like, it's kind of like a weird manipulated feeling like apology. And at first I thought that it was a real apology until like I learned later like he's like what he's doing and how much he's lying in these docs. And then after this, so half of this document is like kind of pertaining to what they're saying. But then the other half of this document, which is a long document, it's like 3, 4, 5 more pages, like an entire fucking essay on his home life. And like he was like, I just wanted to show you. He said, a consistent theme is why is Zero weird? Why is he socially inept? Why is he strange and out of place so often? Let me answer that directly. And then he talks about his home life, but it's all like for sympathy and to get people to feel sympathetic. So when I say like, oh, this apology is half baked and he's just trying to like, you know, he's trying to seem like the victim and he's just trying to get people on his side, like that is what he's doing. Because you, like, why else would you put like this long essay about yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that's relevant? Why do you think it matters? It doesn't matter to the allegations.
Yeah.
Um.
I think it's people like
So then,
him that you don't expect to be manipulative. Like they like either consciously or subconsciously, like they are very much so. And that like I
yeah,
think this is just like a prime example of that.
yeah. Oh, okay. So context. Jisoo did art. She wants to do art. She moved to the Sky House because she was promised that she could start doing art and stuff like that. She also liked playing Melee, so that was like another bonus. And she went on the pretense of going into business. So Zero was trying to make it seem like her and him were really good friends and they were roommates for a year. She was also 15 at the time, by the way. She was 15, and he was showing her like pornographic images at 15. I failed to mention that, but that's also a big reason why it's like bad, because that's also just fucking illegal. Um, and so in his original apology, he's like, here's the dates that I moved in, here's the whatever, here's who lived in the house, like all this random shit. Oh, here's text messages of Jackie being friendly to me and us being friendly and us being friends. I don't know why she's saying this. I don't know what she's saying. And then he says like, I don't know what she's talking about. So that was, I didn't realize it was only pertaining to Jisoo's statements. His second one was like trying to do the same thing with Katie, where he's like, we're I I learned that she was 14, and then after that, I tried to stop talking to her, and then we were just friends and whatever. I don't know what she's talking about. I didn't do anything weird. This, I think he was like, this behavior is really gross, considering she was 14, but I didn't know she was 14 until later, and I'm socially inept, so it's hard for me to like decide like how to like stop talking to somebody. So it's like I didn't it's not that I was trying to lead her on, it was just accidental because of my character. Here's why I'm weird, here's why I'm socially inept. Please believe me. Because I think what he was trying to do is get people to say like, "Oh, well, I mean, it looks bad, but he's an awkward guy. So, like this is just an awkward guy doing awkward things,
Mhm.
you know? Uh let's not cancel him for that because that's not something bad. It's just he's just awkward." Um and then it was that's when it was like, enough is enough. You're fucking lying. You try to make me masturbate with ice and take pictures of it. I don't have this. And then Katie was like, I didn't take screenshots of that because that's embarrassing as fuck, but you did this. And that was where it's kind of like dodgy, because it's like, is this true? Everybody's like, well, she doesn't have pictures, so like, did he actually ask her to do that? She also proved that she said right off the bat, I'm 14 years old. So you calling me like all these pet names and then flirting with me is not appropriate, and you knew that, and you did it anyways. Um, and then he made his last final twit longer. He was like, I have to come clean. It's a very small twit longer. It's very small compared to his other stuff. He's like, hey, I can't sleep. I can't take this back and forth. I don't think it makes sense to keep this going. I just want this all to stop and for me to at least atone. So he's like, the ice thing, yeah, it's true. I did ask her to do that. He's like, the claims Katie made in general are true. And I'm
Like,
like, what the fuck? He's like, there's no graphic pictures or anything of the sort, but it's unforgivable regardless. I just want to be clear about it here.
bitch, I'll kill you.
I'll fucking kill you. It's so after all that, he was like, I don't know what she's talking about. And then he was like, no, yeah, she's telling the truth.
Like, are you
And
fucking
then he was
kidding
like,
me?
there's one more girl. He's like, there's one more girl I spoke of in 2014 period a bit earlier. And then he says her name, but we'll just say M. He's like, originally she never told me she was underage. She said she was older than me. I have a screenshot of this, but it doesn't matter, nor does it make it better. But years later, she contacted me and she was actually underage. I apologized to her privately recently and told her I feel absolutely terrible about it. There's no graphic pictures or anything after that, and or anything either that were exchanged, and she's from another country. So what happened with M was that she heard allegations. She heard about allegations about Zero,
Mm-hmm.
and she was terrified that they were talking about her. So she contacted him and said, "What's going on?" And guess what this motherfucker did?
Did he ask
Go
her to?
on.
Did he
Yes.
ask her to do shit?
So what happened with her was the same thing that happened with Katie. So I think in reality she was 16 and he was 19. So like, or no, he was 17, 18, and she was 16, I think was the whole thing. So like, in a technicality sense, it was legal, but it's like it's something where it's like, and I could get the ages wrong, and if I have the ages wrong, then like, you know, bad. That's even worse. So assuming that those are the actual real ages, it's he's in a position of power over people, um, and he's like a figurehead and a community figure, and like he's a celebrity. So to like elicit stuff from people that are like, you know, it's not it's like scummy, and she didn't want it in the end, and that's why she came out and came forward and said like, hey, what's going on? And she was definitely not comfortable with it. So either way, he still elicited sexual acts from somebody that didn't want them to be done. Um, and so what happened? So she approached him and was like, "Hey, what's going on?" He told her she was the only one. He told her that, "Oh yeah, I was talking about you. The allegations were concerning you, and um that's it." And he was like basically saying like, you're the only person, don't worry. And then she was like praising him because she was like, oh my god, like what you did to me wasn't that bad. You know, she's a victim, so she's kind of like she
That's so
doesn't
bizarre to me.
really mean like it
That
wasn't okay. Like victims like tend to apologize to their like abusers and stuff like that, and tend to like kind of downplay what happened to them as a form of like coping. Later on, she said like, no, it's not okay. It wasn't okay. It was a terrible thing. But while she was kind of like talking to Zero, she kind of reverted back into that state of like apologizing for the abuser or to the abuser kind of thing. Like, oh, you know, I didn't want to make a big fuss about it. It's not that bad. And you're a celebrity. You're such a huge celebrity. The fact that you only like had one slip up, one mistake, you know, it wasn't that bad. You know, like holy shit, like good on you. That's such you have such a good character and stuff like that. And then he didn't say, oh no no no, like there's more. I am a bad guy. He was like, yeah, no, I mean, you know, I try to keep my head down and keep out of trouble and stuff like that. So yeah, but he did the same exact shit. He tried to get her to masturbate with ice and take pictures of it, which is still like child pornography. You can't take
that's
pictures,
fucked
sexual
up.
images of it. So even if you are like a child, like if you're, it doesn't matter if you're both consenting children or whatever, which children can't really consent either way. But like, you still can't take pictures of yourselves doing anything because that's child pornography. It doesn't matter like if you're a kid or not, like that's still legal. Um, so it's like it's so fucked up. So that's what happened with Zero. Everybody renounced him. They were like, I want nothing to do with this guy. He still was trying to save face. He's still trying to save face. Um, he's like, please don't be like me. Please don't forgive me. I won't forgive myself. Fuck this guy.
Man,
He's just
yeah,
trying to get people to like
yeah.
feel sorry for him.
I'm looking at the replies to his tweet, and one of them is really good. It's like it was like it took you 3 twit longers to get you to this point. She's like, fuck off, dude. Like,
Yeah. It's like it took you 3 longers to get to there and you're still lying. You're still fucking lying. He said she was older. She wasn't older than him. She was younger than him. So he's still fucking lying. Oh
yeah.
my
And a
god.
lot of them were like, I'm not gonna miss you. They're like, please, goodbye. Like, you said you would
Yeah, get
stop.
out of here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And
So
then
I retract
and then there's
everything
still people.
positive I've ever said about this man.
Yeah. And then there's still people that are
Okay, you
like,
go ahead.
there's one dude who was like, he's like, dude, why? You just got 1 million subs. Everyone enjoys your videos. Haha. And then
Yeah.
I
That's
would forgive you. And some dude replied, he's like,
oh
glad
my
you have
god.
Twitter to type because you wouldn't be able to suck. You wouldn't be able to speak while sucking him off so much. God damn. Oh my
That's
god,
so
that's wild.
yeah, this so he was such a big name in the community. Like he took 50 tournaments, grind crazy. He fucking keeps talking about like how much he worked for it. He keeps talking about his home life in Chile and how shitty it was and how he like went from 0 to 100. Like he has 1 million subscribers. He just got a new house. Like they like everything was on the come up for this man. He has a thing. So the funny thing is he has two things going on. He has a uh a sponsorship kind of thing. So like for like gaming stuff, they'll have like a sponsor that'll sponsor them, and it's basically kind of like a insurance kind of thing. So like they're expected to perform to a certain level, and so they'll give them coaches, they'll train them to like help them like perform.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they'll give them like a salary so that way they can like live off of like competing and not have to worry about like, oh, if I don't win every tournament I won't make ends meet and stuff like that. Because
Mm-hmm.
like I think in Smash there's like $50,000 in prize money. I think $40,000 to $50,000 in prize money that you can get from winning all these tournaments, and that's it for the whole year. So you have to win first place to get 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not placing that well, you could only make like like $10,000 for the year. So the sponsors kind of make up the bulk of that. For like bigger tournaments, it's not as much of an issue, but it's still the same concept. Like you sign to them, you perform, you agree to plug their shit, you agree to like, support. them and stuff like that, and like wear their jerseys when you play. Um, it's kind of like how like athletes are endorsed and stuff like that. And then they'll give them like a salary and shit like that. That way you don't have to worry about like, oh, I'm not placing well. I'm gonna like I have to quit because I can't do it.
Yeah, like a
So
prime example of that is Colin Kaepernick, right? Like
yeah,
after he was removed from the NFL, like he was still able to like live like a normal life because I think he had a really big sponsorship from Nike, and they continued to support him, which is really cool.
yeah, yeah, and that's like what it's so important to get like a sponsor if you're gonna do anything in like any kind of competitive anything. It's basically like being signed to a label as like an artist. Um, so he had a sponsor, but he had his own sponsorship. It's called Team Zero, and he was gonna like get people that don't normally have like a chance to like get a sponsor to like promote them and support them. He fucking had a whole series of like child prodigy videos where he would find these like kids that are really good at Smash, and he would like do videos of them and like promote them and then sponsor them for Team Zero. And everybody kept making fucking jokes about him being a pedophile. But like they were like, "Oh, why are you doing so many videos with kids? It's kind of sus."
And then
Zero, and
lo and
it would be like a
behold,
joke. And lo and behold, he does sus stuff with kids. So fuck. But the
gross.
weird, I I don't know. So like that went to shit, and now all those like he was gonna sponsor these kids to go to the tournaments, which is also kind of weird. Fucking kids going to tournaments, man. They just
Like when you say kids, you
that's
mean
still
like
weird.
6, 7, 8, or you mean
I mean
like
like they're 13,
okay,
11. I think
like
one of them was 11.
preteen, teen?
They're like he did a video on an 8-year-old in Japan that's just got signed to a sponsor. Like he didn't like do a video with him, but he did a video on him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so he stopped doing those, and I think he stopped doing those because people were like saying like, "Oh, you're a fucking kid diddler," um, either joking or like actually accusing him. So then I think he didn't want heat on him, so they wouldn't
Oh, because
know
of
about
like
his past.
exposed. Yeah,
So he stopped.
damn, that'd be crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, it's so I'm so distrusting of people around kids, and this is why. Because fucking like
Yeah,
I
that's
was like, oh
fucking.
no, he's just doing videos with these kids trying to promote them. It's not a weird thing, but then it's like he comes out that he does shit with minors, and it's like,
God damn it,
never mind. It's a bad thing.
fucking nasty.
That was a long retraction. I tried to make that fast. I'm sorry. That it was there's a lot of information.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot to
Um,
unpack there.
yeah. So, uh, but yeah,
God
we can
damn.
move on if you want.
I was thinking, what are we at right now? We're at about 50 minutes. What
Yeah,
else? We can talk about your
I
exercise
could talk
thing.
about yeah, and then next week I can do news I didn't know existed,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll find out more news that I didn't know. So stay tuned for that. Okay. Um, on a more positive note, I started doing like I started walking.
Oh,
Have you walked
king.
since?
Okay, okay.
Oh, I started walking. I'm just like I get my cane out and I get my walking stick and I just hike and
Okay.
I hiked I walked to Louisiana and then kind of stayed there for a little bit and then walked back. Um, that was a
Oh,
joke.
you're cutting
I
off.
didn't do
Oh,
that.
there we go. All right.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Yeah.
I was
All
like,
right.
there's no feedback, man.
Yeah, because it
Laugh at
was
my
bad.
jokes, so I know it's funny.
No, it wasn't. But yeah.
Um,
So have you been like walking on campus and stuff?
yeah. And like okay. So the first time I did it, I walked onto campus and it was really sad. I think I talked about it when I
Mm-hmm.
did it, but it was
A
like
little tad.
deserted, and
Yeah.
I felt really bad because like I was supposed to graduate this year, and I didn't because I actually have one more year on my degree. I switched degree plans, so now I added a year, which is fine. And so at first when COVID happened, I was like, "Fuck, that sucks." But then I was like, "Well, hopefully it gets solved, and like I can have, the rest of my senior year that I kind of got robbed from."
Mm-hmm.
My heart goes out to those who got robbed of their senior year because that shit that shit sucks. And
Yeah.
I'm about to experience that for the whole fucking year, and that's gonna be shitty.
Yeah.
And so originally, like, I was like, oh, cool, I have another chance. But it's very apparent that this is not gonna stop until like 2021, maybe 2022, because they're on track for a vaccine, but vaccines take months and months of trial and stuff like that because they got to make sure that the antibody count is correct and that it's actually triggering your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when you give them, like, they did like 5 doses or 4 doses, and then they did 4 different doses and they did a placebo, and that's kind of how they test it. And so then they monitor like the antibody count and stuff like that, and they monitor like your whether or not your immune system was triggered. Uh, and so they have to see like how many doses, like what doses are good, what doses like kind of up the antibody count, like what doses like. And if I'm getting that wrong, then I apologize. Maybe it's lowering the antibody count, but I'm pretty sure it's raising it. Um, and so like which one is like actually like doing its job, and then the ones that are doing its job, are they actually like triggering the immune system? Because that's what you're trying to do with a vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
That way your immune system's fighting the virus so that it learns how to do that, and then when you come in contact with the virus, it'll be able to respond immediately because it'll know it's there. Because viruses work by not being detected by your immune system. Like they mutate and it's like Darwin, or like what is that called, evolution. Like it's like their evolutionary track is like how good are they at being undetected by your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
So like vaccines introduce it to your immune system to where it can fight it and then learn what it is, so that they know like when they come in contact with it later on, they can like actually detect it and shit like that. So they're doing those tests, and some of them came back good, and some of them came back positive, and it seems like the virus, or it seems like the current vaccines that they have are working, but they still need to do more preliminary tests. Also, they haven't been peer reviewed yet, so there's more stages to go. So they have to get peer reviewed. It has to be published, and it has to be like for it to be like correct and factually correct, and people have to have it has to be repeatable. So like we're gonna have to like somebody else is gonna have to like test it and see if it works. So it's gonna take a long time. Like as long as it's taken to test it and see if it works now, they're gonna have to do more testing in the future, like the same amount, and then like adjust it as time goes on. So it's gonna be like a long time until that happens. So I
Mm-hmm.
realized, holy shit, I don't have a senior year anymore because I'm not gonna go to campus. That's fucking dangerous. I'm just gonna stay at home. Because our university is trying to make us go. Hook 'em Horns is trying to make us go to campus and trying to make us all kind of congregate, which is gonna fucking expose us and kill us. And they were like, do you see that shit where they were like, they asked like, oh, how are you gonna keep people from getting infected off campus? And they're like,
Oh,
oh, we're
I
gonna
didn't see
trust
anything
them not
about
to
that.
do that.
Oh, trust.
They dead ass on a like I think on a response to like a news source like asking them the question, and then I think they sent us an email saying like, hey, we trust you guys not to get infected, and that's the only precaution that they're taking is like, oh, just we're trusting you not to get infected, so don't get infected.
That's fucking.
and
Yeah. Did you see that one
and
of
they think
the
it's gonna work.
UT staff members died?
Yeah, I didn't want to read it because I don't want to hear that fucker talk. We have a new president, and I hate him.
Mm.
I don't want to hear that fucker talk about somebody because it's a big fucking problem. It's like a staff member like died because of COVID because they're not taking the precautions they need to take to stop that from happening. So pretty much the death is on his hands, and I don't want to hear him. It's kind of like Zero. Like I don't want to hear what he has to say about this shit. Like you're the one in the wrong. You're not gonna you're not gonna honor the person. You're not gonna do them honor. Like the only thing that he can do to kind of say like, oh shit, like this is serious, is shut down campus for the year
Mm-hmm.
until like until something fucking changes and we can actually like we can actually meet, not like we want to meet and we can make it work, but that we can actually meet. Because this whole fucking thing is a money scheme. They figured out that if they don't open their campus, they don't get as many people applying to their school, which means that they lose money. They also raise tuition, and we're only able to do like online classes or like half online, half whatever, or like in person, but the number of seats is reduced by like 70% or something like that. So it's like it's just a fucking money scheme. So it's like I'm really upset that somebody died, and I don't want to hear what he has to say about it, because it's not going to be substantial, and it's not going to honor the victim.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't. I just read it, and he's saying, they followed protocol apparently. Like the person reported it properly. He said there's a lot of resources to provide support. Then he said, wash your hands. Basically, I'm paraphrasing here.
Yeah, yeah. It's basically like that's what it is. It's like, oh man, this thing happened. Man, I really feel bad about it, but we did everything we could, and now you guys got to do what you can to make this not happen. Basically saying like, it was their fault. It's their fault. It's their fault they died. Fuck you, man.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I don't like this guy Jay Hartzell. Not a fan.
I don't like him either. Isn't he interim president?
Yeah, I don't think he's official president yet.
Yeah, hopefully he gets removed. Hopefully he gets removed.
I mean, I doubt it, dude. Honestly, like who else would?
Well, I don't know. Hire somebody who's actually like gonna help the university. But they're treating it like a fucking board of directors with the CEO, and so like I don't see anything positive coming from that. I really don't like college, just because like it's a corporation. Like UT's a corporation. It's not a school. We're not a fucking school. They're a business, and they're operating as a business. Like they're acting like, oh, shareholders want you to remain open, so you have to remain open, even though it's not safe to do that. And it's like, holy shit, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
I think it really goes to show like the priorities of like an organization that like enforces this sort of policy. That's like, campus is going to open.
Yeah.
And like the way I see it, I kind of see both sides, because like you, like I am going to be a graduating senior. So like part of me is like, I do want that fulfilling experience. I want it for my last year.
Mm-hmm.
But in that same regard, I also don't want to die. And I think that's like an important I think that's an important sentiment, that like, albeit unfortunate, like yeah, it sucks, but like suck a dick. Like, sorry.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what to tell you. So I actually wanted to read this hot take to you. So this is from a buddy of a buddy. My good buddy's buddy, but I'm not gonna name any names, but he said this, and I was like, okay, man. He said this, and I will read it exactly as it is. He says, FYI, I personally don't care about contracting COVID. Would prefer to contract it, get antibodies, move on with my life, and contribute to our nation's desperate need to acquire herd immunity.
Yeah, that doesn't fucking work.
I don't know if it works like that. I figured just like the common cold, everybody gets it eventually, and might as well get it now when the medical system isn't overwhelmed and could treat me in the extremely rare chance any complications arise. But of course, out of respect, I'd always wear a mask to respect those around me if they felt it necessary. I was like, what the fuck are you saying, dude?
Can you say that last part again? Can you say that last part again? You cut out.
Yeah. But of course, out of respect, I'd always wear a mask to respect those around me if they felt it necessary.
Well, you have to fucking...
Yeah, you don't have a fucking choice.
If you had COVID before and you don't have it anymore, still fucking wear a mask, because I think you can still carry the virus.
Yeah,
the virus can still piggyback on you while your immune system...
That sounds right,
like,
yeah.
You'll contract the virus, and if I'm wrong about this, then I'm wrong, but just assume that I'm right, because it's the best thing to do. It's like, unless you're like a doctor, unless you're a nurse, or unless you know the science behind it, just do it anyways, because like you don't understand what's going on, and you can't make a decision if you're uninformed. It- Anyways, uh, you'll get the virus if you come in contact with the virus after you've already fought it and your immune system knows how to fight it. It still takes time for your immune system to kick its ass, so it can kind of fester around for a little bit, but you'll fight it you'll fight it off. In that time, you can still pass it off. You can
Mm-hmm.
still pass it. You
You're
can still like
contagious. You're
spread
contagious.
it. Yeah, you're contagious. Um, Also, I was looking at asymptomatic transmission, the Achilles heel of current strategies to control COVID-19. I was reading the abstracts, and I didn't get super far, but it's shown that like SARS-CoV-2 is a lot better about like spreading during asymptomatic like responses,
Mm-hmm.
which basically means you have no symptoms. So like the 2 week period where you have no symptoms, it can spread. It's really good at spreading. Unlike SARS-CoV-1, which was what was it called? It had a name. I don't remember the name.
I
Whatever. The first strain of COVID.
Corona? Is that what you?
Um, no, Corona's this one. It was it starts with an S.
Ooh, I don't know
You
about
know what I'm
that.
talking
I
about?
don't know.
I forgot. Whatever that strain a long time ago. The reason why it wasn't like potentially was like we're still projected to do bad. Um, like the projections for this are worse than that one because the virus mutated in a way that like it can spread really well during asymptomatic response like time period where you don't have symptoms. So
Mm-hmm.
wear a mask. Even if you contracted it before and you're fine now, wear a mask because you can still spread it. It's always about like masks don't protect you; they protect the other person at the bare minimum. At maximum, they protect both you and the other person, like the N95 masks and like actual like good masks. Um, but the number one priority is that you don't spread it to people because that's the problem. But you're dumb. Like, uh, I would say don't do that because you don't know how your body's gonna react to
Yeah, no, like
COVID.
it's literally like the dumbest thing. Like, and like I guess it also I should mention the guy who said this message. He's very um right leaning, and
Ah, of
yeah,
course.
like man, this guy.
I say of course. I say of course because the current right leaning trend is to like worry greatly about the economy. Our economy is fine. Like,
You've seen
yes,
that
we have a
meme?
lot of people without jobs.
Have you
Huh?
seen that meme of
No.
the dinosaur? It's like it takes an image of like the dinosaurs, and there's like a T-Rex. There's like a bunch of dinosaurs, and there's a meteor like like about to strike, and the dinosaurs like,
Mhm.
oh shit, the economy. Did you see that?
Fucking hell. It's so dumb. That's pretty true though. That's fucking oh my
It's
god.
very
All
true.
right.
It's so like it's so funny to me how like how much that resonates with the current situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, our economy is fine. Like, yes, people are without jobs, but businesses are pivoting. We're still trading. People are still trading at an all-time high. Stock market is up. So in terms of like our GDP, we're okay. There was a country that opened, was it Sweden? That kept their economy open.
Sweden, Denmark, maybe. I don't know. That
Some
one
okay.
of those, man. They're good at their
There's
shit.
Netherlands, maybe Netherlands.
Maybe.
I just saw it just now. They kept their one country kept their economy open, and they reported no increase or decrease to their economy. Like there was no change in their economy or like whatever. Like it's not you're not like by keeping it open, you're not stimulating the economy, you're not increasing the economy, you're not whatever. It doesn't do anything, you know. Like it's not gonna save us. We're not even in like trouble per se. Um, what needs to happen is like there needs to be stuff at a higher level that says like, oh, we don't have as many people that have jobs and we have a lot of debt rolling around. So what we're gonna do is hold debt like debt payback periods, like hold those off, have grace periods, and also we're gonna stimulate by they're gonna stimulate sorry. The point I was trying to make was that they didn't see like a boost like nobody was spending still. People still weren't spending. And that's the important part. Like keeping the economy open, the economy was still open, but people weren't spending, right? So that's the important fucking part. What you need to do to stimulate the economy is to make people consume, is to get people to consume. The consumption class, which is like the lower class, has to consume shit. They have to buy stuff. If they don't buy stuff, if you're not buying stuff, then we're not going to see any positive anything for our economy.
Mm-hmm.
So what needs to happen is that we need to halt debt payback periods, halt interest rates, right? And then stimulate the money by giving, like, our government needs to give like some money. They need to give like $1,000, $2,000 every month or so. If you have that reserve cash, you can spend it and you will spend it, right? Some people are savers, some people are lenders. That's just like how consumption charts work. But neither one are going to be spending if they don't have the reserve capital to spend. Meaning, like, they're saving money so that they can pay back their debt. Meaning that they're like withholding money, withholding spending because they don't have an income anymore. Right? You have to stimulate our incomes. Right? You can't just stimulate the economy by opening. You're gonna open fucking what's Cain and Abel's? You're gonna open Cain and Abel's? I'm not gonna go to Cain and
Yeah,
Abel's. I'm not
why
gonna go
would I
spend
go?
money
Yeah.
in Cain and Abel's. Why the fuck would I go? So it's like opening the economy, getting the economy rolling, as they say, is not. It's not the answer. It's not whatever. Companies aren't going to hire back the employees that they fired. That's not how companies work, unless you stimulate the company. But even then, even when we stimulate the company, as we've seen from like not Airbnb, the airlines and a lot of other companies, when you stimulate them and give them money, they're not hiring back the employees that they fired. They're just, paying themselves off. They're paying off, like, they're reinvesting that money so they can make money from the money that they got in.
Well, I think that
Cool?
varies because like I have seen like at least with my family like for their like family-owned businesses like that has been the case. Like like they had to lay people
It,
off, and with the government help, they were able to rehire the same people. So it is like I wouldn't say it's like
well, I mean,
impossible for that to happen.
granted, yeah. It's just like from a theoretical stance about what a company, like a profit maximizing company, would do. They're not going to hire back employees. So like if they're operating as a profit maximization firm, which a lot of companies do, because they have shareholders to abuse or whatever the fucking reasons they give, they're going to be looking to invest the money they get back, not to spend it on liabilities, or like not liabilities, spend it on like, like debt, right? So there's like on the accounting table, there's like assets and debt. Assets plus debt equals equity, or assets plus. Did I get that right? I feel like I got that wrong. Um, but they're not going to be spending the cash that they get, the influx of cash um, on the debt, right? Because that's just going to go out of their pockets. It's not going to stimulate, their job. So normally, what they would do is like for a profit maximizing firm, is to invest that money so that they can get some capital coming back in to account for the losses that they took from people not, for like the airlines, people aren't flying, so they invest the capital somewhere else so that they can make up the revenue that they lost. Um, if your company doesn't work that way, then yeah, you're going to be hiring back employees, and that's really what you should be doing because that's the virtuous thing to do. But we see time and time again, a lot of companies don't act on a virtue platform. They act on like what's gonna make me money now. So it's like that's a fucking. So that's the pro. It's like it's the point being in like all the steps that they're taking to invigorate this economy are not the steps that you should be taking, because on a theoretical standpoint, that's not what's gonna save the economy. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
So I don't know. Fucking. I do have a lighter note though. I'm
well, I
gonna
think
do that
that
real quick.
might be all the time we have.
All right, well, I'll save the lighter note for another episode then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well.
It might be for the best.
I guess.
Well, real quick before we end, I want you to do one thing. I want you to clap like this. There we go. Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, I've been doing those clap syncs, and your claps suck ass. They're terrible.
My claps suck ass?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, it needs to be louder?
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Like, they're claps. Yeah, there you go. Nice and not flaccid. I want
Nice.
that like strong.
That clipped. I'm gonna tell you right now. My clap right now just clipped so hard.
Clip clap.
Like,
Yeah,
I like.
that's what
If
we
you
want.
look at my audio, if you
It's
look
just
at my
like
audio
shot
right
up.
now, you can't see. No, you can't see any bumps. I can't see any bumps. And, like, my audio doesn't go that high on this one, so it's like there's no bumps. And I think this one is even quieter than last time. And right there where I clapped, I see a spike, like not a little spike, a fucking spike. So my audio clipped so hard there. So you're welcome, because I'm gonna keep that shit in. I apologize, viewer. Actually, maybe I'll.
Just
I don't know. I'll figure something out.
just peel them off
Yeah,
real
just
quick.
take it off.
Yeah.
Maybe
But,
I'll like cut. I think I'll cut that. Actually, no, I can't because you need it.
Yeah, I
you
need
that
it.
part.
Well, sucks.
Fuck.
You gotta be nice with it. What can I say?
We'll start doing it at the beginning where you don't have to hear it.
Yeah. But
and I'll give you the raw.
I think that is all the time we have for this episode. Any last thoughts, Isaac?
I don't know. Be good to each other. Just don't lose your minds.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Good message.
Yeah. I'll remember to put the video. For those of you that don't know, I was looking in the bonus episode for a video about some guy like commented on like the community and like what to do. But I thought his message was really good. I'm gonna put the video link and then the timestamp in the description of this one, so that you can actually hear what he has to say, because it's pretty good. Basically, like, this seems like a bad time because people are being outed, but it's actually a good time because we're getting those people out of the community. So it's like, it feels negative, but the impact is positive. So like, yeah.
Well, with that being said, thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you next episode.
Peace.